250 years ago, a bold idea took shape on paper, the Declaration of Independence. It declared freedom, equality, and the responsibility of a people to govern themselves. But America's story has never been written by words alone. It has been written on the land by how it is used, how it is cared for, and how it is passed forward. As we approach the nation's 250th anniversary, we look not only at what the founders said, but at how they lived and what their relationship with the land still teaches us today. John Adams, a farmer's son, a lawyer, a revolutionary, and the second president of the United States, believed independence was not only a political ideal, but a way of life. Adams learned to plant, harvest, and tend orchards early on. Unlike many of his contemporaries, Adams never owned enslaved people. To Adams, liberty was practiced daily through moral choice. For him, caring for the land was inseparable from caring for the republic. In Adams' era, farming demanded long vision. Land was not endlessly exploited, it was rested, rotated, and sometimes intentionally flooded. Seasonal flooding allowed soil to recover. Water restored nutrients, broke down organic matter, and naturally reduced insects and harmful organisms, functioning as a form of natural pest control long before chemical treatments existed.
We run about 1,000 head of cattle, and we move them every day. Little we call it mob stocking, herbivorous solar conversion, lignified carbon sequestration, fertilization. And what that does, that's not conventional or organic. That's just mimicking nature, the way herbivores run in nature. But what it does is it increases our production by like 300%.
These practices recognized a simple truth. Nature, when given time, often does the work better than force. Today, that same principle is reemerging, not as nostalgia, but as innovation. In southern Oregon, farmers and land managers use controlled seasonal field flooding to regenerate soil health.
This ground is peat soil. It used to be a wetland. When we flood it, that peat holds the moisture so much. Once we flood it in the winter, drain it in the spring, we don't have to irrigate it. Look at all these ducks coming in here.
Flooding replenishes soil moisture, improves structure while reducing dependence on chemical inputs.
We got a real problem with a weed called kochia. And the options were, well, we can douse it in herbicide. It's really hard to kill this kochia, and it takes 2 or 3 applications, and it's really expensive. Why don't you just turn it into a wetland for 3 years? So that's exactly what we did. We flooded it and then slowly drew it down, leaving the ground really, really wet. Too wet for kochia, but just right for wild millet and smartweed.
Supporters argue this method reflects long-term responsibility, healthier soil, lower environmental impact, and sustainable productivity. Critics caution that the flooding temporarily removes land from production and carries financial risk. The debate echoes a familiar American tension: short-term efficiency versus long-term stewardship.
That's one of the main reasons that the health of our land has become so poor, is because we're not taking care of it. We're leaving the small farmers aside and instead allowing corporate interests to use the soil to make a profit more than make a healthy environment. Hey, we used to get along with Mother Nature, and we used to farm in a way that was sustainable so that we could keep feeding ourselves in a healthy way, and we've left that far in the dust.
250 years after the Declaration of Independence, Americans are rediscovering an old idea. That progress does not always mean abandoning the past. Sometimes it means listening to it. The land remembers. The question is whether we do.
3 weeks ago, I had the Fish and Wildlife Service refuge biologist who knows his ducks came out, and he estimated we had 30,000 ducks and geese on this 400 acres.
It never would have been.
It wouldn't. Well, we always have had ducks
Some,
use it.
yeah.
But not.
Yeah.
Now we provide them everything. They've got grain to feed on. They got little baby potatoes to feed on. But then they have wetlands to hang out, and also eat natural foods.